Welcome everybody to today's video where we're going to be going through 12 more HLL tips and tricks. Now some of these are only applicable to World War II. However, you can use a decent amount of these for Vietnam as well. So sit back, relax, and get ready to soak up some information. Number 1. Putting SLs in recon tanks. Whenever I see a recon tank on the map, I always ask, is there an SL inside? Too many times have I seen recon tanks getting really good positions and there's no SL to drop off to take advantage of it. You never know how far recon tanks may get. They may get blown up right away on the front line, or they can make it all the way to the back and be able to drop off an SL to put up a sneaky backline garrison or OP. So those of you who drive recon tanks, you need to treat it like a helo in Vietnam. Be sure to ask in command chat, hey, does anybody need a ride in a recon tank? And if you can, call out an SL specifically, so that way you can get at least somebody to respond, and maybe it'll encourage a little bit of conversation in command chat. And remember, tank crewmen have access to supplies now, so you can utilize those as well for a potential backline spawn. Number 2, improvised AT guns. Too many times on stream, I've seen on maps like Foy, Kursk, SME, where one side's armor gets absolute advantage and the other side doesn't build any AT guns to help offset that. Here on Foy, 22nd was dedicated to building AT gun after AT gun after AT gun. They knew how important it was on Foy for armor to have some help. So please, no matter how many times your ATGs get destroyed, keep building them. Number 3, coordination between arty with airheads, HE, smoke, and with armor and P-strikes too. Whenever you're dropping an airhead, try to give artillery a heads up to say, hey, I'm planning on dropping an airhead here so they have enough time to relocate their gun. They can drop HE, smoke, a combination. Really good artillery players can drop 2 smokes in the perfectly timed HE round before the first airhead spawn comes in. Of course, as a commander, you could drop a strafing run, bombing run too, but with all these combinations, you could have a higher success rate with your airheads. When it comes to armor, I always try and stress this on stream, but please, there needs to be a good relationship between armor, the commander, and artillery. If these 3 areas are able to have a very high degree of communication, success is very likely. Imagine this in your mind. It's SME checkpoint. Tanks are on both sides of the hedges. The Allies control their side and the Axis are a little bit farther back. Repair stations have been built for both sides. Now, if you're in a heavy tank, you're thinking, man, I've gotten a couple shots in them, but I still haven't been able to take them out. They probably have a couple repair stations over there. Okay, this is where you say, hey artillery, can you drop 2 or 3 rounds behind the hedgerows and see if you get any structures destroyed? Great. And artillery says, sure thing, buddy old pal. I'll drop them for you. Artillery drops a couple rounds and they say, hey, I destroyed 2 structures. More likely than not, those are repair stations. Now the armor crews know, at least for the moment, that the enemy armor crews are without repair stations. And let's say they decide to roll forward and they get a shot in. Now they can ask the commander to drop a P-strike, and even if the P-strike misses, the tank should be at least partially damaged. And now, with all this information, armor crews can take an educated guess as to whether or not they should push, or, if they have them available, send a medium for a potential quick kill. I'm a big fan of sending mediums in quick killer strikes when you know an enemy heavy is heavily damaged. So always, always, always remember to communicate between those 3 groups. Number 4, using buildables to gain a competitive edge. There are all sorts of buildables that I've seen being used in so many different ways. These right here are what you call tank stilts. Tankers use them to gain a little bit of elevation above hedgerows and stone walls. And as seen in this clip here, you can also fit a repair station in between them. You can also use Belgian gates and build them on Pierre's farm and gain access to the roof. All sorts of ways that you can use these buildables in Hell Let Loose to get that little extra edge over your enemy. So whenever you have some spare time as an engineer, go around maps that you know and love and just experiment with different buildables like barricades, Belgian gates, barbed wire even, and see if you can come up with some crazy concoction that allows you to just beat your enemy a few more times than usual. Number 5, coordinating backline attacks effectively. This is probably one of the biggest mistakes that I see made on stream. Too many times an SL will be able to flank around, work their way all the way to the back line, never get up a garrison, they push towards the point, set down their OP, get a couple frags, then die. The enemy finds the outpost, and then all that effort was in vain. Now, I'm not going to repeat the full-length video here, but in the description, you're going to find a link to the video that I did about this. So if you're curious, go ahead and take a second, click on that link, and watch our buddy Bubelleicht show you how it's done. Essentially, the main point is to always get up a garrison in the backline first, far away from the enemy point, to have as a reserve. Then you slowly push up the garrison little by little as you get more comfortable. If you happen to get pressure on the next point, let's say 20, 30% cap weight, 40%, then you want your team to have the ability to go all in. You don't want to get that far with the cap weight, and then your team can't send reinforcements to help finish it off. Now granted, it will do some good because the enemy will be forced to respond with some bodies and pull them away from the front line, but most of the time, it could have been so much better. Number 6, dedicated MGs and lane holding. Rosters in Hell Let Loose feature specific spots for machine gunners. MGers will have assigned spots throughout the map. These spots will allow them to hold certain lanes and provide a wide area of coverage for their fellow blueberries. This is a very famous spot on SMDM, where Mads here is taking up position on top of the roof and watching over the wheat field to the east, the fields to the north, and a little bit over there to the west. The most important thing for your MGs is to hold these positions no matter what. No matter how many times they get taken out, they need to go back up there and provide that same level of coverage. Or of course, if they're told to move elsewhere. You never want to hear an MG player say, "Oh, I got bored, I didn't see anything, so I'm just going 18 now." No, 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 no. Please don't do that. MGs that can hold certain lanes are worth their weight in gold. On all of my streams, I always try to highlight where MGs are covering. If you have games on SMDM, SME, Purple Heart Lane, no doubt in my streams I have some MG spots for you. So if you look at your roster and you're just now realizing that, we don't have anybody assigned to be a dedicated MG in our next game, go ahead and add that roster spot today and start doing some research. You'll be amazed at how effective your infantry are when they have an MG behind them helping to support along the way. Number 7, Jeeps. Jeeps are perhaps one of the most underutilized tools in Hell Let Loose. With the upcoming update and Jeeps going down to 30 fuel, I'm expecting to see a lot more. Whenever you're in a pinch, you can always spawn a Jeep over on the far HQ away from the battle, put an SL or 2 inside there while leaving their OPs behind near the front line, and have these SLs make a wide swoop behind the enemy lines or on a flank so they can reflank the enemy's front line and help roll it up all together. So one SL can jump out halfway, look to set up an outpost garrison for that counterflank, and then the other SL can head behind the enemy lines and look for some sneaky spot to get some pressure on the next point. Jeeps are great. They're so fast, cheap. You could do a lot with them. Even drop some explode boxes. Spawn in a few AT players to place some mines, maybe a couple engineers to place some AP mines. Think about using a couple Jeeps to dash inside of a hard cap too in clutch time. When you're riding in a Jeep, you can burn a couple outposts maybe. Picture in your mind a point like Win 7. You're down 2, 3, 5 minutes left to go. Your armor is getting ready on the hedge. Infantry is trying to push forward. Smoke is everywhere. And let's say you're the Axis. You decide to spawn a couple Kubu wagons, have the drivers rev it up to 5th gear, and make a couple daring dashes inside the hardcap to see if they could burn any critical outposts. Plus, no doubt, it'll cause a little bit of confusion. But yes, try to be innovative with Jeeps. They're so underutilized and I feel like they have so much potential. Number 8, tank coordination. When it comes to tanks, you don't want to act solo. Let's go back to a classic example like SME Checkpoint. You have heavies along each side of the hedges, Axis and allies. Tanks have been firing back and forth. No one has been able to come out ahead. And now with update 20, with heavies taking 3 rounds, it's even harder. But let's say the Axis tanks get a couple of pins inside the 76. Try to keep a medium tank, in this case a P4, nearby, so that way they could try to make a dive across the open field to take advantage of the damaged tank on the other side. I'm not saying it'll work 100% of the time, but at least you can give it a shot since mediums are so cheap. And also, you don't have to worry about that 10-minute cooldown. And these, of course, are just theories that I have when it comes to armor to help out teams and think about different ways to approach situations. I've streamed a lot of games, and I've seen plenty of times where 2 heavies will duke it out back and forth for 5+ minutes, sometimes 10 minutes, and no one will gain anything out of it. Wouldn't it be nice to have a medium tank crew nearby so they could try to take advantage of that situation? Your friendly heavy tank calls out to say, hey, we got 1 shot in the enemy. Push now, push. You can also think about a Commander P-Strike being paired with that. Communication in these circumstances can lead to a much greater chance of success. So please, work on your coordination, come up with some code words, and report back to let me know how you did. Number 9, drop supplies in boxed out areas. This is a simple one. If you're on Carentan, drop supplies in the river. If you're on SME, look for those boxed out areas nearby church where you can drop supplies and the enemy can't get to them. Or if you want to get fancy, see if you could drop some supplies up on the buildings. Usually that only works with the allied supplies. And drop them even when you don't need them. That way you have them as backup if your garrisons in that area get taken out. Number 10. If you're down 1-4 in a match, spawn a half-track. One of the biggest reasons I see teams lose when they're down 1-4 but go back up to 2-3 is because they don't have time to get back to middle. So when you're down 1-4, you need to think outside the box and out of the current active area. Go in the HQ that's farthest away from the battle, spawn a half-track and try to drive as far away from everybody as possible. Go around the map edge and do whatever you need to do, and then park it in a safe space, not too close, but close to the middle point. Every map has its own little special spot. You'll just have to work with your best judgment at the time. Here's an example I went through recently, commanding for 22nd 4ID on SME Checkpoint.
He is stationary.
Tiger coming bottom in 30 seconds, or do you want the Panther first and then the... or...
Tiger first.
Yeah,
please.
Tiger. Okay, Tiger first.
Medium Sherman on Charlie tank ping.
An 8. That's a Gary enough marker.
Timothy, they're still in that field there.
Enemy garrison's down.
Yeah, they're fucking hiding. I'm just fucking camping it. Yeah, there's an OP in that field for sure.
Medium tank, easy tank ping. Hey Smithers, we're pulling another squad down there to help out at Rue. Just with the push that we're up here, we want to keep my OP up north.
Copy them.
Defensive Gary locked out, map edge south. Yep, going.
Okay, the half track is live. So we're going to need to get some SLs back here, some spare SLs quick.
They just wiped it. They just rocketed me off the gate as soon as I spawned.
Let's get
I'm going.
Okay, let's get all the SLs north of... Go, Bones.
Go ahead, Smithers.
No, go, Bones. Go.
I want Logi and Flex on fucking F8 half track right now.
Half track's got about 30 seconds to that first wave.
Copy. But yes, when you're down 1-4, spawn a half track if resources allow. And now, they only cost 150 fuel. Number 11, recognize when it's time to be in the circle to secure the cap or defend versus outside. Once again, I stream a lot of games. I can't tell you how many times I've looked at the map when a team has the chance to capture a point and they have way too many people outside the sector, not counting towards cap weight. It hurts me right in the soul. Here's an example from a game I commanded recently with 2-6 on SME checkpoint against GOAT.
I'm not sure. It's over here. Accurate. That's not accurate ping. General.
Okay, copy. All right, those of you hanging out by Maison, be sure to try to get in the sector. Try to get in the sector, push forward. Send your extra blueberries to that airhead if possible. Those of you north of checkpoint, just get on the airhead. Just get on the airhead and push towards checkpoint. Make sure you're in sector right now. Don't worry about church. Don't worry about church, please.
Don't make them tell you again. Don't make him tell you again. Everybody north, redeploy now. Everybody north, redeploy now into the airhead.
Yeah. Crane.
We see them blueberries disappear.
Copy. Knock the fucking airhead. We're redeploying. Alright, Dr. Gary, redeploy.
I'm holding back at Mason to keep an eye just in case they try to pull something.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Scoot up your OPs as you can. Even the anchors. It's worth moving them up a little bit.
Garrison down on checkpoint.
Nice, nice, nice. And make sure everybody's in sector. Make sure everybody's in sector.
Naval squad pushing in now.
3-1 hard cat.
Nice, nice, nice. Okay, let's get ready to get up these garrisons. Let's get that garrison up. Supplies are
Good
falling.
all the rounds. Good all the rounds.
Still control the sectors when we start reset.
Yep, that's how it's
Move
going.
your OPs up, everybody.
Nice
Don't
job,
waste
everybody.
time.
Nice job.
Alright, spread out, get back in your sector. Spread out, get back in your sectors.
Yep. Recognizing who's out of sector when they need to be in sector at a critical time can literally be the difference between a win and a loss. So whenever you're getting towards 40%, 50% cap weight, start thinking about, okay, where's everybody at and where do they need to be? And that includes armor. Don't forget to tell your armor crews, if it's possible, to push in the circle. Sometimes I see armor crews right outside the circle, not counting towards the critical cap weight when they need to be. So always, always, always look at the map like that in critical situations. Number 12, calling in airheads and asking for someone to protect it. This is pretty straightforward, but when you call in an airhead, try to assign a specific SL to protect it. Too many times I've seen airheads called in, everybody runs off, nobody's there to protect it, and the enemy takes it out. Easy peasy, yup and easy. Here's an example that I just went through commanding for 2-6 against GOAT on checkpoint. Easy, see if you could stick by the airhead to protect it, please.
2-1.
I got you.
Alrighty, everybody. Well, thank you for joining me today. Hopefully you learned something in these 12 tips and tricks. If you enjoyed the stream, be sure to hit that like button if you could, please. And if you have any questions, go drop a comment below. And don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Alrighty, everybody. I'll see you next time. Have a good one.